If you don't learn how to communicate your thoughts effectively, your life is going to be significantly more challenging than it needs to be. For almost every aspect of your life, it doesn't matter how much you know about something. You could know 10 times more than someone. But if you don't know how to express the ideas in your head to other people, then you will not get the end result. If you were trying to get a job, if you can't express yourself, you won't get it. If you were trying to get a girlfriend, a friend, business relation, a sale, just about every single aspect of life is selling yourself to something, to someone in some way or some face, shape, or form. And all of that requires you to be able to communicate your thoughts in an effective manner and be able to turn what's in your head into a fluid sentence. And I remember vividly in high school that I could not speak at all. I hated it. If I got called up to the front of the room, my hands would be shaking, my heart would be pounding. I just didn't know what to say. I would almost always freeze and want to shit my pants. But there's a multitude of reasons for that. But one, 99% of people think they suck at public speaking or speaking in general. But also, if you ask every single person if they think they could run a marathon today, they would probably say no. And the reason for that is they haven't trained. But I have the opinion that just about anyone can run a marathon. Some people, it is going to take them a lot more training. They're going to have to train every single day for 5 years in a row because maybe they have to lose a ton of fat, they have to eat better, and they have to build up a ton of stamina. Some people already have a better physique and they can run a marathon in a lot less time training. But just about everyone can run one. It's because it's a muscle and you can train your muscles. Public or speaking and communicating your thoughts is the exact same way. So how do you train your ability to communicate? Well, the first thing is in high school, when I was talking, I didn't know anything about anything. At that point, I had never thought of any subject to a high degree. And funny enough, to be able to communicate your thoughts, you have to be thinking about things on a pretty deep level. And so when I was a senior in high school, instead of going to school, I just studied macroeconomics and I was studying a lot of free market capitalism and libertarianism as well. And I thought that was the right answer and I could feel it in my gut. But if anyone questioned me on those subjects, I would not have been able to give a persuasive argument one way or another. I would have froze. And the reason for that is I still hadn't thought about those concepts to a high degree. I had a very base level idea of what I thought the answer was. And this is where I think most people are on most subjects. You just think from what you feel what the right answer is, but with no actual critical thinking involved in it. So you can get to the end result and say, I think this, but you don't know the processes that the other people who you probably formulated your idea from got to that conclusion. And so once I really went down the rabbit hole and I started to think about these things, the way that I got better is I was debating myself. Anytime I thought I had an opinion, I would just take the other side. And I quickly realized how little I knew about anything. Because when you debate yourself and actually challenge yourself with difficult questions, basically just asking very simple questions, why, what, how, who, when, just the very basics of questions and continuously asking yourself them, you get stumped. Think about this for any political view that you have. If you ask yourself 10 follow-up questions, you are probably not going to have a good answer. How did I get better at being able to express my thoughts? One, I just tried to understand subjects to a higher degree. If you understand something really well, it could be the stupidest thing in the world. You can probably explain it better than quantum dynamics or whatever the hell it is because you don't know anything about that. So having things that you actually know about and study and don't just take a face level view, that was the number one thing, but that still didn't help me learn how to express my thoughts in an effective manner. Even when I had a stringent view of thoughts that I thought I could place together, when I tried to formulate them in words when I was having conversations with people, just nothing would come. And even if I could tell myself the answer in public, I couldn't. And that is a very frustrating feeling to go through. So the way that I got better is one, I text myself all day, every single day. Anytime I have an idea, all I really focus on now is business. And I still like to learn about philosophy and these other things, but rent is still due at the end of the month. So most of the time I'm just thinking about how do I grow my business? How do I scale? What do I do? But all of that requires me being able to express my thoughts effectively for my clients, why I think we should do what we should do with my clients, how to actually close clients. Most people perceive how much you know about something based upon how well you can communicate it to them. And so if you can express someone's problem to a higher degree than they understand their problem, then they're going to expect that you have the solution. But all of this requires you being able to communicate that. So this is such an important skill. So the first thing that I do is I just write down every single thing that I think of throughout the day. And one, typing or writing down is going to be the first layer to help you formulate your thoughts onto words. And then what I do is, as you can see, I make a video every day. I've been doing this for 250 plus days. I swore to myself I'd make one every day for 1,000 days. If you watch the first few, I could barely talk. The reason is I'm training as if it was a marathon. If I was training for a marathon, I would run and I would get progressively better every single day for a long period of time. For this, I committed to 1,000 days of making videos. And my ability to communicate since then has drastically improved because I have been training the muscle over and over and over again to have to speak to a camera by myself in my room. And I promise you guys, it is not that easy. I would challenge every single person, and I want you to do this because I promise you, if you get better at speaking, it will be one of the best ROIs on your time in the entire world. Just pick a subject and try and make a 15-minute video on it. You don't have to post it. You don't have to do anything. I just guarantee you will quickly realize how little you know about something, and then how little you understand something to be able to communicate it. That has been the most eye-opening thing about all of this, is you realize how little you know about something when you start to try and talk to a camera about it for 15 minutes. Then the next thing is having real conversations with people, not just talking about the game or whatever the hell people talk about. Like, me and my friends that are living in this house, we will debate each other on subjects every single day, just for the sake of debating, but it also strengthens you mentally to be able to fortify your arguments in the future. And then having just real conversations at dinner. You surrounding yourself with a better social circle, you naturally have higher intellect conversations, and it is something that you want to be a part of. At first, you probably won't be able to converse too well with them because people who talk at a very high level very often, they are probably just going to dominate the conversation, but you can understand how they start to talk. When I'm at dinner with all of my friends, most of my friends are 50 plus years old, I never speak. I shut the hell up and I listen because they know 10 times more than me, but asking incredible questions has really developed me to understand what they're saying to where I can hopefully communicate it in an effective manner in the future. And so over the past 3 years, my ability to communicate has skyrocketed to a very, very good degree, to where now when I'm having a conversation, before it literally felt like there was just a bunch of squiggly lines inside my head and none of the words would ever come to my tongue. I would basically freeze. And now in most circumstances, when I'm having a conversation, I know exactly what I'm going to say for a long period of time and the words just come to me. It is a remarkable feeling and you feel just so much better. And it has provided me with a lot more opportunities in every single aspect of my life. You are always selling yourself at all times. And the way people perceive you is pretty much everything. And they are going to perceive you a lot differently if you know how to express your thoughts. And more importantly, you are not going to get the opportunities if you don't know how to express your thoughts. So the main actionable thing that I do are I text myself every single thought that I have throughout the day, and then I make a video every single day, but I'm also just having incredibly stimulating conversations every single day. But a lot of people, they are in a situation where you don't have a good circle of friends that do those kinds of things, and that sucks. I was in that period for an exceptionally long time until I eventually started working for very successful people. But you're just in the stage where it just sucks for a while, and I think you just have to embrace the suck. But the way you're going to get those types of opportunities to work with more successful people than you and start to be in those circles where you are having very stimulating conversations is first becoming a better communicator yourself. I would just challenge you to debate yourself on every topic that you think you know anything about or anything that you're passionate about. Just get down to the root cause. And then when you don't know something, you just try and figure it out. It has worked better this has probably had the highest return on investment than anything that I've done. And my goal is, because I would still say I'm probably a C to C plus communicator. I would have proved from, I think, probably like a D minus, but I have a long way to go. And so my goal is over the next few thousand days, in the next maybe 5-10 years, I can really nail down my ability to express my thoughts